Alright guys, it's Alpha Heavy Gamer, and let's jump right into it. I want to talk about the roadmap for 2024 that Gaijin just put out. Not just, they kind of dropped it yesterday, but I'm talking about it now. But I'm really impressed with what they put out. There's a lot of detail, and there's a lot of stuff in here that players have been asking for a very long time. This stuff is game changing. This is probably some of the best things I've seen changed in War Thunder in like the past 4 years. So let's talk about it. All right, so I'm not going to read everything. You can check it out on the website. But I just pulled a few things out of here that really got me pretty excited. So on the aviation side of things, the aircraft fuel slider is something Gaijin is going to work into the game. So I'm pretty impressed with that. I mean, this game seems to be trending towards like a DCS light, but you're no longer tied to the presets, the fuel presets. You can have a custom fuel sweet spot. You know, when I think about this, I think about planes maybe like the Yak 38 Forger, where I really take 7 minutes because, you know, you got to have the plane that light to do anything and get up to altitude. But the next, I believe, next highest fuel load is like 20 minutes, and that's way too much. So maybe if I could have 10 minutes, something like that, that would work a little bit better for me. So I'm glad to see something like this. All right, the next one here is detection of enemy aircraft at aircraft spawn points and ground realistic battles. So I think this is a game changer. You know, there are a lot of chicken hawk type pilots that like to just spawn camp over the airfield, or just over the air spawn point or near that area. And, you know, it's not really fair. It's pretty cheesy. So I'm glad they're kind of putting stuff in like this. You know, it's a quality of life thing. It's good for the players. It's good for the game, I think. Next one is, again, for aircraft players. So they're implementing a separate use of flares and chaff. And I really love this one. And this is really good for aircraft that don't carry many countermeasures on board in the first place. You know, jets like the A5C, I could go on, where, you know, based on the threat that you're facing, you can just be like, well, this is just an IR threat. I'll just use my flares, you know, instead of when you hit the button, they all come out, you know. So good economy of countermeasures. I like this. All right, so another nugget I pulled out here is some aircraft are going to be given a different battle rating in ground and air battles. Now, players have been asking for this forever. I think this is a great change, and it finally just splits it. I know Gaijin's always been saying, you know, we can't change the BR of the aircraft to lower it or raise it because it'll affect this mode, and that was always the reason why they couldn't do it. So it's going to make a lot of aircraft more useful, a lot of attack aircraft. That's what they're really saying. I think it's going to solve some problems. And Gaijin, frankly, they should have done this a long time ago. This could be bad news for tankers, though, depending on which direction, you know, the battle ratings go. So you could see some aircraft that you probably didn't want to see. Some pilots have been doing pretty good with this so far. The last aircraft centric one we have is that there's going to be a timer with the time left before ammunition hits their target. So like a time to target kind of thing going on, like, you know, you would see on the heads up display and, you know, more advanced simulators like DCS. So I've long wanted this for air-to-air engagements, and even some, you know, missiles and bombs that you drop from your close air support aircraft. Helicopters have had this for a while. Like, you know, you got the time to impact counter for like Hellfire missiles, and then, you know, it just hadn't been on planes. So this is a good quality of life change for sure. All right, so getting away from planes and just kind of general stuff here, but the you're going to be able to recycle inventory items that you no longer need or want or even want to use, right? Like orders, wagers, boosters, maybe even backups. And you're going to be able to recycle those into random items. So I really like this. I have a lot of orders and wagers that I never use and probably never am going to use them. They just, you know, you collect those things like Pokemon. So I'm glad they've come up with this as a way of getting rid of things and exchanging it maybe for something that you do want. So the next one coming is, you know, one that players have requested a lot, and they're going to work on updating the damage model for helicopters. You know, this is just very much needed. Sometimes they just don't go down. You know, you hit them with all kinds of stuff and the helicopter is still flying around, or you'll kill it and then it'll still be able to kill you, you know, before it finally crashes. It's ridiculous, but finally Gaijin is addressing that. A good one for tankers is there's a new aiming reticle was planned for modern ground vehicles. Now I've been hoping for this for a long time instead of what we have right now, which is pretty much just a really nasty generic sight that's pretty low tech. But what I want really is not just a generic modern sight. I would like one that's nation specific, not one for one size fits all. And who knows, maybe this is the precursor for like automatic lead indicators, you know, other you know, aiming aids in the sight. I know a lot of players will cry about this, but you know, it's just the technology, man. These tanks are capable of it when I'm talking about the top tier modern stuff. So why wouldn't it be reflected in game? All right, so I saved the best for last, and I like this one a lot. So you'll receive notifications if a player that you reported was banned. Now, maybe I'm petty, maybe I'm just a petty player, but when I report somebody, I want to know if something happened to them. I don't just want to report it into the ether and never know. So maybe this will entice people to finally act right, because now people may be actually motivated to report bad behavior because now they're going to actually know that something happened. So I don't know, we'll see. All right guys, just a disclaimer here. These things will happen throughout, you know, the year. So it's not something that's coming right away. And Gaijin can, you know, some things may not go according to plan, so they may fall off of the roadmap or may appear at a different or later time in the roadmap. So like I said, just put a disclaimer out there, but I like the way they are engaged and they are listening to players and they are implementing these quality of life changes. You know, and they're not just giving you new vehicles all the time. They're actually attempting to fix the game. And I know a lot of people act like they never fix the game and that they only put content out. And it's just not true. They actually are, and here's proof of that. So, all right guys, hit that thumbs up if you liked the video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.